Tonight on Capitol Hill, a fiery exchange put Attorney General Pam Bondi on the spot over one of the most controversial inmates in federal custody, Ghislaine Maxwell. What started as routine unanimous consent requests quickly shifted into a pointed line of questioning about whether justice is being applied equally inside America's prison system.
The unanimous consent?
Yes, please.
All right, the gentlelady is recognized.
Mr. Chair, I have a few unanimous consent requests. I would like to submit into the record this New York Times article titled "Alex Pretty's Friends and Family Denounce Sickening Lies About His Life." I also would like to submit this Daily Mail exclusive interview with Vice President J.D. Vance titled "J.D. Vance Refuses to Apologize to Alex Pretty's Family After Spreading ICE Assassin Claim." One more. My last submission request is a New York Times article titled "FBI Agent Who Tried to Investigate ICE Officer in Shooting Resigns."
Without objection.
Thank you.
The chair now recognizes the gentlelady from North Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Attorney General Bondi, I think you and pretty much everybody else here and throughout the country believes that convicted sex offenders don't deserve special treatment or privileges in prison. And yet, Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirator, received perk after perk in prison. In July, she had a 2-day interview with your deputy and President Trump's former defense attorney, Todd Blanche. Just days after that, Maxwell was transferred from a federal correctional institution in Florida to a minimum security camp in Texas, which she, as a sex offender, would normally be ineligible for. At this new facility, as the ranking member talked about, and by the way, it's nicknamed Club Fed, we've heard reports that she's been afforded special privileges: puppy time, private workouts, personal mail, secretarial services. Attorney General Bondi, does a convicted sex offender like Ghislaine Maxwell deserve special treatment and privileges in prison? Yes or no?
Let me be crystal clear on this. No. And
Thank you.
Let me keep going. No, let me keep going.
Perfect. Well, I
did not know she was being transferred.
I asked you yes or no.
She was not transferred to a lower
Mr. Chairman,
level.
please stop the clock and remind the witness of the rules. One rule she needs to understand here.
And I'm glad that we're agreeing. So when we're agreeing, we can move on to some other things. But I want you to know that every time she does get these perks, and it's been publicly reported, that the folks she's abused, the survivors who are sitting here, they see themselves as being denied justice. They feel re-traumatized. And I'm glad that we agree on that. But she should not be in that prison. And she needs to be moved back to a maximum security prison as soon as possible. But what she has told another committee here is that she won't cooperate with them unless she gets clemency from Donald Trump. It's just crazy to consider that she can be wielding this kind of influence within the administration. But that begs the question: who ordered her to be transferred to the minimum security prison that she was ineligible for? Who signed off on the special privileges? Was it Mr. Blanche? Was it one of your other subordinates? So please, can you tell us who sent her there, since you don't agree she should be there?
I said I do not agree she should receive special treatment. She was transferred, I learned after the fact, to the same level facility, and that is a question for the Bureau of Prisons. I was not involved in that at all. The same level facility, I don't know why, but you know, instead of talking about Ghislaine Maxwell, who hopefully will die in prison, you should be talking about Irina Zarutska.
I have a couple
who
of
died
other
on a subway.
Right, and I absolutely...
You don't talk about that.
I have been talking about it and actually helping with these issues. But we're going to move back to you.
I bet we are.
Yes, of course, because you're here to testify. That's what the whole point of this endeavor is. So, of course, we're moving back to you. It is all about you. So, as we've heard, she took the fifth in response to every single question in that committee hearing. And her lawyer dangled the offer of clemency. Should Donald Trump pardon or commute her sentence. Should she be released from prison, yes or no? You said you hope she dies there, so I'm hoping the answer is no.
I already answered that question.
Good. I'm very glad. I really like this bipartisan agreement about
Well, when
what
it
should
agrees
happen
with
with
you,
her.
but you
Yes.
don't want to talk about Irina Zarutska. You don't want to talk about
I talk about her
murdered
all
by
the
a
time,
violent crime
but
offender
I am not
in your
here to
jurisdiction.
testify before Congress. You are. That is your job today.
You are
That's what you're getting paid
obsessed
for.
with attack.
Time belongs-
So
time belongs to the
I
young lady.
want you to know that your own DOJ employee, he's recently been demoted and had some other problems, advises on pardons. Do you think he will be advising Mr. Trump on any kind of clemency or pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell?
I'm not going to speculate, and you couldn't even identify properly. That's why you don't want to talk about Irina Zarutska. You couldn't properly identify her relative.
I absolutely
It's embarrassing.
have been, and her family, by the way, appreciates all of the condolences, all of the help, everything that our law enforcement in North Carolina has been doing to help her family. Her family feels well treated. Thank you, and I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. Gentleman from California is recognized.
I'd ask unanimous consent to enter into the record an article by former Attorney General William P. Barr entitled, "Why Pam Bondi..."
The hearing opened with a series of documents entered into the record, including major media reports about disputes surrounding ICE, the FBI, and statements made by top political figures. That procedural moment mattered because it framed what was about to unfold, a broader argument about accountability, transparency, and whether powerful people receive different treatment under the law. Then the focus narrowed sharply. A member of Congress from North Carolina turned directly to Attorney General Bondi and raised a question many Americans have quietly asked. If convicted sex offenders do not deserve special privileges, why does Ghislaine Maxwell appear to be receiving them? Maxwell, convicted in 2021 for helping Jeffrey Epstein sexually abuse underage girls, is serving a 20-year federal sentence. Her case remains one of the most high-profile criminal prosecutions in recent history, not only because of the crimes themselves, but because of the powerful names long associated with Epstein's network. For many Americans, Maxwell represents unfinished business in the broader Epstein saga. During the hearing, lawmakers reference reports that Maxwell had a 2-day interview in July with the Attorney General's deputy, Todd Blanche, who previously served as President Trump's defense attorney. Shortly after that meeting, Maxwell was reportedly transferred from a federal correctional institution in Florida to a minimum security camp in Texas. That raised eyebrows because sex offenders are typically subject to stricter placement rules within the Bureau of Prisons system. To understand why this matters, it helps to know how federal prison classification works. The Bureau of Prisons uses a scoring system that considers the severity of the offense, criminal history, escape risk, and other factors. In general, inmates convicted of serious sex offenses often face higher security designations and restrictions. Transfers to lower security facilities are possible, but they must be justified by formal criteria. When a high-profile inmate appears to move quickly after contact with senior officials, critics question whether standard procedures were followed. Lawmakers also cited reports of special privileges at the Texas facility, including expanded recreation time, personal services, and other accommodations. While minimum security camps often offer more freedom than higher security prisons, the political optics are explosive. The nickname Club Fed, often used to describe minimum security federal prisons, reflects a long-standing perception that some white-collar or well-connected inmates experience incarceration differently from others. The core question posed to Attorney General Bondi was simple and direct. Does a convicted sex offender like Ghislaine Maxwell deserve special treatment in prison, yes or no?